balance patch is probably because I've been putting loads of power in, or like I've been putting out abilities to hit those sort of things. That's coming up in the next couple of months in cards. I just don't know if I've overdone it. So
yeah, I kind of went to a list. It was like, this is what the players want buffed. Like, what can we do? And it's like, oh, well, I've got a card coming out for that soon. So we kind of had to go through the list. And we're like, right, what needs a big help? And then I think we looked at it and we're like, wait, this has loads of big buffs. Like,
yeah, and I feel like with Life on Land, Oceans and Seas, because I love both of those and I love them together. I felt like I was just piling energy in and like piling power in. It's just, there's some collections like Curious Cuisine and stuff where I'm just like, when are you going to get good? What? And I just feel like I'll just do one card, which is always what happens. I'll do one card and it's like meta. I'm like, oh god, I've overdone it.
Because there's just so many like I don't know the card count at the minute, but obviously it's in the thousands, so it's like one little input and it's like slightly too much can just be like, oh my god, okay, like where did this come from?
I know you think we get away with it at this point, but nah.
Cool. So balance patch on the way. We'll keep you in the loop on when that's going to happen. It'll probably be talking about it more going into next week and the week after. So that's something to look forward to. Okay, so this one it was sent in before yesterday, so I think the question has been answered, but are Mythics and Fusions still on the roadmap? So I guess yes, they are. One came out yesterday, the Lindworm. And I think Fusions, definitely seen another Fusion in the works coming in I think it's in March time. I didn't check the date. I'm sorry, Alison. I saw it and I was like,
you failed me, Joe.
Cool.
Yes, we are continuing to do Fusions. First, I'll give you the date. The next one is on the next Wednesday. Yeah, next Wednesday. So the 4th of March for the next one. But then I do want to do Fusions more often after that, because I really like Fusions. I haven't got any Ultra Fusions planned, but would like to do Ultra Fusions. With Ultra Fusions, you just feel like you have to get the right content, and it's not come to me yet. But yeah, I put in a Fusion basically once every 2 weeks following that, so that's quite fun.
That is exciting. I know people are after the XP as well, so that's a nice little boost there. Okay, well, we're kind of rattling through these actually. I'm worried we're going to run out. I'm going to kind of speak a bit slowly. So, next one that came in, what is currently in the works, or what are we sort of setting our sights on, has been asked. I'd say it's been asked in the community, but it was a question that was sort of like sent in as well. I don't know if Paul, you wanted to take this one on, just see what we get.
I was going to spin my wheel and just so it lands on. What have we got in the works? We're working on some changes to trades. We've had some feedback already on that. I don't know how much we want to go into on that. We're working on a new kind of pack. I think I can say that without giving too much away, which would be fun.
Yep.
What else are we working on? We've got a new release which should be coming out imminently. It's like everyone's probably fully aware of that, but
I think I see Odium Ed in the chat, and I think he might be quite happy with one of the additions we actually are like making this week. It's been a long run.
It's kind of a little bit disappointing, really, to finally release the Elo ranking in the game. But yes, that is. Yeah, that's right, Ed. Yeah. Elo. So it's non-specific. It's the same ranking that you see in Discord. So did we change the names on any of them, or is it still Death Incarnate? And
we changed the name on Bonehead.
Yeah. Yes, Sprog is slightly better. Toads. Yeah. So when that first got released onto Discord with absolutely zero internal conversation, there was a bit of Bonehead. We're calling new players who come in, we're calling them Bonehead. And yes, we then remained, we continued to call them Bonehead for the next 3 years. But yes, now that's going to be live in the, it's always a term of endearment types. Yeah, that should be live. We've been absolutely saying we've got to do this before the end of February. We've said end of February, and there's been a sort of a bunch of development hitches with it. So it's going to be tight, but yeah, that is absolutely the goal. Yeah.
Cool.
And along with that, the stuff around hidden abilities, I think that was also in the roadmap.
Yeah, I think
that's quite exciting, the hidden abilities stuff, because it seems like, I think, because I sort of know the hidden abilities, it's not that exciting for me. And then I was looking at what cards were marked, and I was like, I cannot remember what abilities these cards have. So it's quite nice because it's like a little treasure trail, because we don't have time really to do crafted cards like we used to. So it's kind of like a little crafted thing to go around and find all the hidden abilities. So I think that's quite a nice thing. I'm looking forward to seeing the spreadsheets.
I can't be the only person internally who goes to Ed's server to look up hidden abilities. I wouldn't know where to find it here, which is kind of crazy. But those are, I think you just mentioned crafting cards, and I think it's, yes, there's a time element, but also it was, people just didn't know what to do with them. So it was such a small part of the community that was engaged with them, and it was a real shame. I would love to, to do crafted cards in a different way, in a different universe.
Yeah, I agree.
But for now, hidden abilities are super cool, and there are so many I suspect that most players haven't discovered yet.
I remember my first few weeks in working in QA here, and I was like, oh, like a hidden ability tag would have saved me so much time inputting bug reports that were just secret abilities. I didn't know what I was talking about.
Well, that's one of the things is that we didn't consider, is that some hidden abilities will trigger in the events and stuff. Because I think there was one with fireworks maybe, or a burning one, and it meant that it was just not working in events, and I couldn't work it out, and I was like, oh, it's a hidden ability that was setting it off, but obviously no one knew. So it's probably quite handy to save on customer service sometime for things like that.
Yeah, it's like, what do we tell them? And I'm like, well, we should probably tell them to go into Ed's server, but we can't do that. We should go into Discord server. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's all what's on the horizon, and the roadmaps that we put out at the start of the year will be continuing as well. So we're trying to, because obviously we want to make sure that what's on them is like something that we can deliver on. Otherwise, there's not really much point in doing those. So by the end of next week, we hope to be in a better position to do the March one, which we're actually really excited about. And there are some cool trading quality of life changes that we're looking to do with that as well. So there's a few bits that I think people will be interested in. So that's something to look forward to. Okay, getting back over to the questions that have been sent in. I'm doing a horrible job at keeping up with the chat in terms of questions, so it's going to be a scroll to the top and scroll down at the end of it. But someone is wondering, are there any cards or subjects that will never be added to the game? And I think that gets asked quite a lot, especially in reviews, whether it's a car or a person. They're like, hey, why is this guy why is this person not in queue? I don't know who would like to take that one on.
Yeah, well, I think Alistair will have more to say on the topic. There's always the bleak stuff that we have to kind of vet for that. So that we've always said that we would never have a Hitler card, but we can have things that are, Hitler adjacent. That sounds a little too, but it's like, I think we don't want to sort of historical, exactly. We don't sort of pretend he didn't exist, but there are certain things which just feels like unnecessarily poking the bear. And then there's obviously, we always conversation people, typically newer players. I think it once you've been playing Q for a while, you kind of get that there's an IP thing. So when people sort of say, oh, why hasn't introduce, like insert my favorite musician here. Why are they in the game? It's usually because it would cost us hundreds of thousands of pounds or dollars to get them in. And also, I think there's something about Q that is timeless, and then so it's almost. I found, like, when we did history of the internet, that was a really interesting collection to broach, because these are things which are inherently kind of, they've not been around for a long time by definition. But there was still a sense that it was the history of the internet. It's not just some meme that's cropped up in the last couple of weeks. And I think you will always sort of stick to things that are established. Does that make sense, Alison? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, like for example, well, a lot of memes that you actually can't. I actually wouldn't mind a meme collection in terms of, like, like Nine. And I can't say the word very well. Nine Cat and stuff. But you just but you can't use stuff like that. I don't think people realise that memes have copyright as well sometimes. But like lolcats. I mean, I think if you were on the internet back in the day, you were looking at pictures of lolcats, because it was just a different time, wasn't it? When they were just everywhere. And anyone can make a lolcat. But yeah,
but also a lolcat will be around. Like, it will always be remembered. There's forgettable memes, and then there's memes that actually are now part of history already.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Lolcats are definitely iconic. And I remember when we did a Doge avatar, and how ridiculously popular that Doge avatar was. That was so massive back in the day, like a few years ago. That was so funny.
I didn't even
But yeah, I
think
completely agree.
memes would be like copyrighted. That just wasn't a thought that occurred to me. That's kind of
because you wouldn't expect it, because it's sort of out there. But it's because I sometimes look up to see if we can put them in, but yeah, you can't. I think with cards that we wouldn't put in, sometimes it might surprise people what is under copyright. Or like, I think that like one of the things that really gets in the way is like finding images and stuff. So there's lots of cool things that I'd like to put in, but like, for example, if it's got a picture that's only fair use, you can't use it because we're selling it as a card. And so there's just loads of cool stuff. Other than, like, I completely agree with Paul. There's some dark stuff out there that you just don't want to turn into a card in a card game, I don't think. But there's also lots of stuff that I think is really cool that I'd love to put in the card game. And it happens all the time. And I look at the picture on Wikipedia and it's fair use. And I'm like it's some sort of talking horse or something. And it's always fair use. But
yeah, there's that whole Skibidi toilet stuff that is now a huge licensing business, despite the fact that surely everyone realizes that it was kind of a of the moment thing for about 1 month. But they've been at every licensing show, charging people a fortune just to relate to an out of date. Yeah, basically, yeah. Yes. And I've been really surprised by it.
That's dreadful.
You've got a "why did you people say that cursed word?" So maybe we keep the Skibidis to a minimum.
Do you think they can copyright 6-7?
God, it's probably.
That's our question to the community to answer. I think they can put a spin on what they think. Cool. I've just seen a couple of comments. So basically, we've had some questions sent in, but we do revisit questions in the chat towards like the later half of the AMA. So if you do have any questions, please throw them in the Cue the Music chat, and we'll do our best to scroll through. And sometimes we take them into the next one. So if you did miss the link, then that's fine. But we'll do our best to get around to things. Okay, on to the next one. I think this is a question for Alison. But why have the last wait, where am I? I've got lost. So ocean mammals. Can we please get some buffs to ocean mammals? And it's been like a funny one because I know we've been talking about ocean mammals being like, oh, it's like kind of scary because they feel like they're just about to be quite strong. So I think there are some cards like coming up, but there's always that kind of.
Yeah, I specifically. It's funny that it was noticed because I specifically. Well, I was like a dolphin girl growing up, so I really like ocean mammals. I really like the collection, and I love the cards in it. So we get quite a lot of ocean mammal cards. And I just think it's cute. Like you'll notice that cute collections always work together because I just think it's cute when they work together. But like that's why marsupials works really well together. And like cute cats and penguins. But we think it might be too strong because we do have some more ocean mammals coming out. And I warn you, they specifically don't work with ocean mammals because of the ocean. Because of all that. But if you want me to add one more ocean mammals buff. I'm willing to do that. I just thought it was.
Respond to the poll that Joe is furiously creating right now.
Yeah, it's on the fly. So
there we go. That was good.
There we go.
This is how we're doing all our development from now on.
The last 30 minutes, we're going to go through every collection. Wait, this ends in an hour. Oh, it's neck and neck. Couple of maybes. Okay, all right. We'll come back to that. But I think there's like definitely a sense of like it gets quite difficult when when you really love a collection, you want to see some buffs so you can like play it a little bit more. But it's actually like quite close to being like super strong. But I think who's done this one?
That's
Joe, the vote just went from 5 to 4, so someone decided that they thought you were fast enough, and then they went.
Actually, hang on, guys, I was. Please, okay, right. I don't know which one to keep track of now, and I've lost my place in the questions. Okay. We have some interesting ones, and we haven't had a chance to really go through sort of like how we want to approach this, but it might be something that we can give a bit more information on, like how things were changed. But do you guys plan on adding the old background art back at some point? So I think this is mainly talking about the arenas, maybe as a setting you could turn on and off. And I think it might just be interesting if Paul Allison have any thoughts. Any explanation as to like why they changed. I know there was a definite like direction change what we tried to do with these new arenas.
Yeah, there were a couple of things going on there. One was that we had a sort of a lot of feedback from newer players that the game looked sort of childish on the first with the old arenas. So yes, I think it was Space Oceans and Seas were the two sort of main culprits there. And it is for everyone who's like been playing Q for years, it's probably like, well, why are we worried about what new players say? But obviously, from a business perspective, we always have to be looking at the bringing new players in, and and keeping them around is really all the whole financial kind of the thing of the business is it costs us to market, and if people just bounce off because they think the game's not for them, because they think it might look. Sorry, I just see here comes Paul again with the "we have to make money" thing. Let the people have. Yes, yeah. I don't think I like my job. Yes, but that is kind of where that was it. The other side of it was that we'd also released on Steam, so we needed to update the arenas anyway because they wouldn't work in widescreen. So it was kind of we fold those two things into one action, which is to make them a little bit less garish, especially those two arenas, and also create them in widescreen. And now I'm going to go away and make money somewhere else.
Get rid of the little. What was the little? It's interesting to see like how people also, because I think there's so much nostalgia with some of these like arenas and music. Because whenever someone's like, "Oh, where'd you find the old soundtrack that you used to have?" or "Where are the old arenas?" It's like instantly someone's there with like a picture, being like, "Here it is!" Like it's just like so treasured. So yeah.
That's why they brought back old school RuneScape.
Yeah.
Yeah, the core memory unlocked for me. I was like, Cool. Thank you for that. We're getting to. I've changed the tab where my questions were. That's not very wise. So we did have another question, and it is: will there be a 2v2 game mode? That's quite a chunky one to kind of go through. And I don't know whether it's one that I can probably like go towards this a little bit. I think in
I
terms
think
of like
you're
what
just
we're
going to say yes, Joe.
yeah, I was like, Alison,
I've
no,
got the
Paul,
devs on it now.
I've thrown it on Paul already. I think with the current like what we're looking into with Q in terms of getting the community engagement, kind of with giving you guys community events, doing some more AMAs and things like that. I think some of these like bigger picture pieces, especially because we are still within development, within doing wildcards at the moment, and that's still something that's taken up a decent amount of time. I think we're focusing on some of the things within Q that we really want to try and improve. So I think one of the next things that we're looking towards is having a look at trading and looking at your feedback regarding how trading feels. And I think you'll find that in the upcoming roadmap that we're going to be posting towards the end of next week. But I think we've been pretty like vocal about one of the nice things about working on a new title like Wildcards is that in the past when we've made other projects, we've been able to like add things that have worked well from different games, or we found that have worked like in terms of like Eerie Worlds with the Grimmark became Adventures, and that was like a positive cue. So I think there's plenty of those sorts of elements to look forward to. But at the moment, kind of setting our sights on the trading system. So there's going to be some more comms and questions and gathering of feedback coming up regarding that very soon. But yeah, I think that sort of comes to that was the bulk of the questions. We didn't have that many questions sent in, so I probably just need to make that Google form a little bit more accessible for people. But if you do see pings in the Dev Updates channel asking for questions, we will be prioritizing the questions that you send in, so make sure that you send those through. Right now, I'm stuck. I made a poll and I'm stuck and I can't navigate away from the poll. So I'm just going to, it's just completely off rhythm, go buffs questions here. I just picked some of the buffs that I've seen going through the chat, and we're going to see which ones are the most popular. And I've also thrown one for myself at the end there just to see if I can get any buffs coming my way there. But I think for now, we're going to be going back through the chat and answering questions that have been coming up in the chat. This is where it gets a little bit unorganized, and we kind of do our best. Well, that's probably how it's been going the whole time anyway. But yeah, if you do have any questions regarding Q or just stuff you want to hear, then please leave your questions in the chat and I'll just start picking through them now. Let's have a little look through. Q is the friends we made along the way. Oh, that's sweet. Okay. The real balance patch was the friends we made along the way. Another nice one. Oh my god, I need to cough. Someone improvise for me.
Jim's coughing right now.
I like this question sent 9 minutes ago from John 12378, which is, what did they say until now? God. Nothing, John, of any notes. Okay.
Okay, thank you for saving me. I was going to read stuff. I was like, so I should probably stop trying to talk. Okay, we've got a question from Vex Power, and I think you can probably guess what the question is. Is like, when's the next cat card? I think it's the case. I think we had this last day, man. It's like we're running out. Like we're running out of cats.
I did one more cool cat because I think I didn't have Siberian Tiger in. Was it Siberian Tiger I didn't have? Yeah, I didn't have Siberian Tiger in, which is weird. When did that come out? That came out a few months ago now. But that was so weird that I didn't have that. The next cool cat is whenever you send me the next cool cat you want in. And it'll go the next lot.
That's the perfect answer. It's funny when we sort of like say, oh, this is a new card coming out today, and we're like, what? We didn't have this already. Like it's funny, like with how much content there is in Q. It's some of the ones that you're like, wait, this wasn't in the game. What the hell? Let's get it in straight away. It's always funny to find those.
Yeah, we have internally we have a content suggestions channel, but obviously we collect a huge number of content suggestions from the Discord server. But our customer service manager, Kate, who some of you will be aware of, a couple of weeks ago, she was sending loads of content suggestions through, and it was like chair, carpets, computer,
Spectrum.
saddle. And Alison's like, Kate, are you just looking around your room and posting everything? She was like, yes, that's exactly.
I thought it was like a really eclectic mix of emails.
Yeah, you're right. It was like Saddle and Plectrum were in there. So yeah, it's a problem with everything.
I actually did turn Saddle and Plectrum into cards because saddles are actually really interesting. Like it's always like these cards where you think there's nothing interesting to say about a saddle. There's loads of interesting stuff to say about a saddle. So spoilers, but read them. It's way more interesting than I thought it would be.
I've got a question saying, can we do a Resurrection season part 2? I think currently with because we know players really loved how that Resurrection season brought some collections way up to scratch. So whenever we're going into future balance updates, I think we're really trying to prioritize looking at what people can't really do much with, and I think that's probably going to be one of our focuses as we sort of go into balance. So it's not necessarily that we'll be able to do a whole Resurrection season again. Obviously seasons aren't they're not happening like they did back then, but with the balance updates we're definitely looking to, if we'd trim on a meta, we'll also give you some new options to play with as well. So there is going to be some element of Resurrection with the balance updates, because we always like to throw in a buff with the nerf.
Yeah, I feel bad because we enjoyed doing Resurrection time, and I think it's the coolest season we've ever had, and we loved it. But oh God, it was so much effort. We had to both sides of it ration everything else.
Yeah, that was the prepping for that season. I was a bit worried that we'd have some burnout, not least Italian Poems. A lot. I mean, the season thing.
At the time.
Yeah, it's. I absolutely understand people wanting sort of seasons to return. I think it's safe to say everyone here loved them, but we were actually seeing our retention rates drop. I'm not going to say anything about money before anyone says, "Oh, Paul's going to say something about money again." I'm not going to say anything about money, but I can say something about retention rates, and our retention rates were dropping. And it's like, why? We never sort of figured out why retention rates, sort of dropped while we were running seasons. And to get that kind of to see retention rates dropping when it's a lot more work that goes into seasons was disappointing. So we thought we would stop that.
Does feel like diminishing returns.
Diminishing returns. Yes, yes, exactly that. Sorry, in joke for everyone. Joe earlier was going, what do you call it when you kind of put loads of effort in and you just keep getting less and less back, and he couldn't think of the word.
And then I was just like, next slide. And then...
yeah, exactly.
Breaking news: Ocean Mammals buff is a hard no. 7 votes, 44%. I think
a medium soft, a soft like a medium no.
Yeah,
so maybe
no.
Ali just wants to buff dolphins. No,
all kinds of dolphin in the name.
I could maybe send some bribes.
The people have spoken.
I should have asked.
If anyone feels strongly that knows the wrong word, go back up and find the poll. I don't think it's closed yet.
Cool. I've seen a few comments, not necessarily questions about balance patches, that sort of thing. We did cover at the start of the AMA that a balance patch is on the way. We're focusing on it right now, working on a balance patch that's going to have both some slight tweaks, but also some buffs for you guys. And there'll be a bit more information coming towards the end of next week, if not sooner. So
I just want to reiterate on the balance patch, by the way. Signs of the Zodiac is not in this one, but I will within the next. Well, I would hope to, and then within the next. I don't want to give a timeline, but I'm not ignoring it. Okay, I'm just not ignoring it. I think Sons of Basiliac is really cool too. I just want to
Give a specific date, Alison. Go on, do it. Do it.
I was gonna say in the next
People wanna know.
then I realised I had other deadlines. I was like, oh, shut up.
Cool. I'm running through the chat, but all I can see is the like pictures of Sunyan, and I don't really know what that is. I have no idea. Can we have multiple arenas to choose from, multiple song tracks even? I think those are always like quite nice suggestions that get thrown our way. Cosmetic customization and things like that. It's definitely like cool suggestions that we're able to take back to the team and see what we can do about that. So thank you.
I don't think we can have toggles for those particular things though, from what I recall.
Okay, cool. That's actually really helpful to know, because sometimes it's like, yeah, it's if people suggesting toggles might work, and it's not something we can do.
I think it's to do with when they make builds. It's like double testing and stuff for lots of.
Exactly, Alison. It's such a common and understandable kind of request as well. If you really feel that you need to change it, why can't you have a toggle for it? If obviously, going back, 6 years, if we put in toggles for all the things people wanted toggles for, it would be Toggle, the game for people who like toggles. And it would just mean, as Alison said, from a QA testing, you have to test, every branch. So 2 toggles means 4 branches, 3 toggles, 8. And our full-time QA team of 2 people would be crying very rapidly if we had to do that. So that's one reason on toggles. The other reason is that from a sort of player perspective, it's it just adds more sort of design confusion and complexity, which we want to avoid.
No, that makes sense. I think I was like, yeah, toggle is easy, right, devs? And they're just like clenching their fists and just.
I wonder what it's like being a dev sometimes, because the amount of times I'll be like, "This sounds easy," and then Alex looks at me like he hates me.
Yeah. That's always I always come out because I think I think it was the last AMA. I think I went off. I went on a little bit of a ramble and I think I accidentally just said like, yeah, maybe that's something we could think about, and this and this and this, and then I kind of got to the end and was like, oh, like it's fine, it's not recorded. And then I think Games for Dads was like recorded. I was like, damn it, it's out there. But no, it's really nice when they get recorded and put up on YouTube, because it's it's nice for people to be able to tune in. We did have one question actually that has been popping up in the community over the last few days, and I think it was regarding the I think it's the Shining Armor packs, and I think there's I think some people just wanted to you can let us know in the chat if this is something actually. Wait,
do you want to do a poll? I don't mind if you want to do a poll for Shining Armor.
Yeah, I was saying let us know, and I was like, wait, it's new thing.
Thing's amazing.
Yeah, maybe we next month we just sit here in silence and we just fire out polls. Let's get a little because we know that's something that people have been asking for, especially with some of the shiny drops. So it'd be nice to know how much you would like them. Okay, going through. As I think there's a question about, I can't remember if this was something we covered in the other AMA. So, and some of these questions don't have to be answered on the spot as well. It's something we can just take away and discuss and then come back. But when will we get sort of basic cards? And is it something that's on the current plan right now? Is that something that's upcoming?
With basic cards. I think this question came up before. I think the answer I gave was never say never, but it's not on our current priorities list. I think.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. No. I think there's just a few people from Games for Dads. Is it a stream you're doing? the only thing with this chat interaction now, because I've scrolled up, I'm asking questions and I can't see the answers. So it's like, I think Games for Dads is streaming. So I think there's some questions. coming
Yes,
in
it's
from
live.
chat.
Games for Dad says.
Oh, awesome. Go check out the stream, drop a sub, drop the link in there, Games for Dads. Let people know where to find you. Okay.
Well, what we could do, because I've just seen that people have responded to the Shining Armor pack. It's really weird seeing armor spelled out the right way because we have to remove the U in the store. But with
Right.
Shining Armor, I might take a look because we've got way more shinies than we used to. I might take a look at the pack format for it because obviously people are commenting about Daughter Hell. But yeah, I might take a look at the format for it just so you might just to make it a bit more useful because I don't think it was like super popular. I mean, it wasn't super popular, but if it was a bit more useful, I could totally see.
Yeah, I think that's probably why they like kind of like fizzled out, isn't it? Like I think generally with like pack formats, like if we don't think players are enjoying them that much, then we kind of like try and look for something new. So it's always good to get like feedback saying like, "Hey, remember that one? That was kind of cool."
Yes, for sure. I think sometimes you can sort of tell by how much people miss it if it was a mistake. I think when well not a mistake, but you can tell if I was wrong by how much people miss it afterwards.
I got caps locks heading type 2 message. We need a pack that guarantees at least some basic shiny ingredients. I think that's something we could probably take on board. So thanks for pointing that out.
Yes, that's
and then please consider this. Yes, we will be considering it. Shiny ingredients card icon bug. Yes, so there have been a few issues popping out with the new shinies that dropped. So I think there is like where some limited cards they're showing that kind of like weird spiky sun icon, but that is being investigated and we should be able to get a fix out for that hopefully soon. But we'll keep you updated. And then also there was an issue with I think there was some decks being able to sneak in multiple copies of shinies, but that's also been fixed now. So I have been told to let you guys know that if you go into those games with those decks, you might run into matchmaking issues, but there'll be a post going out a little bit later this afternoon for some more information because we're also seeing a few of people. I think there's also some matchmaking issues specifically reported by some of our South American players as well. So that's also being investigated. There's a lot going on today, but we'll keep you updated later on how those things are coming together. Okay. Are some cards rigged to drop way less? No. I think no.
Correct.
Yeah, correct. Cool.
Apart from like mythics are more rare than commons.
Yeah. I was going to say. I mean, technically, yes. But like as a category of rarity, yeah.
Oh, it was 50-50. I was nearly good. Okay, guys. I've kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, on that, if anyone actually knew how incredibly torturous and complex our sort of probability engine, for want of a better word, is, they would know just how difficult it would be for us to rig it. And throughout the whole of Q's history, we've had people kind of saying, why is this card actually a different rarity to this other one in the same? It's not. We've never done that. We've never been able to, and of course, you know, for years now we've been running simulations on every release as well. So those are the odds. What you see in those.
Yeah, and then whenever there is like an instance where they are off, like it's, you know, they are fixed. But yes. Okay. I flicked through the chat. I think I've caught up on a lot of the questions. We can maybe like do some quick fire. So if you guys have any, we've got like 5 minutes left. If you want to have some questions answered or take some questions into the next AMA, just throw them in the chat. We'll do our best to answer them. Daughter Hell, that's a question. I think the Daughter Hell kind of shiny adventure has been something that we've been kind of like obviously collating your feedback, discussing your feedback. And I think that's one of the reasons why we were so keen to make sure that with this new adventure, Steve Bonnet wasn't we didn't run into the same problem, making sure it was a limb rare, much easier to get. We still want adventures to have that kind of like, we don't want players to like whiz through them. It's something to work towards. But we know that Door to Hell was probably on the more difficult, time consuming end to complete. But that is also something we are continually going sort of like through feedback on as well. I think we're like looking at options. It's quite difficult because people.
What can I just ask? What is the question around Door to Hell now? Because it's it's obviously one of the things that around it. Once everyone has, once a fair number of players have put all the sort of time and effort into that, it's not something which you want to roll back. So
yeah. I think Games for Dads, people have been waiting 8 months to shine it. I think there's just it's getting hold of the copies.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. It's it's a really challenging thing. This is the problem with it, I think with any live game is once you do something that a bunch of players then kind of get behind and do, then how it's very hard to sort of to undo that. What you can do is take the learning and move forward. And I think that's been our primary goal. I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn there, though, Alison. I'm sure you want to talk about Door to Hell, don't you?
I hate Door to Hell. But no, yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, it's a similar era, isn't it? Where it's like people have been working really hard to get it.
Yes, I think there's a couple of possible options that we were talking about, but it is one of those. It's the reason I find it's so hard is just because a lot of people have put the effort in, and it would be unfair. It's not such an easy change to change it with this one. I really wish it was. But yeah, I think that we're looking at a couple of things, but I don't want to say anything because I don't know if the things are possible or if they might actually be more negative than positive, because it is one of those tricky situations.
It is like a really hard thing to balance.
Yes.
Cool. Cool. Hey on guys, I'm back. Did they mention anything about sandbox mode? Sandbox mode. We can save sandbox mode questions for the next day, maybe potentially. Okay. Are there any other? I didn't check up on the poll. Actually.
Can I just check what exactly we're talking about by a sandbox mode? When we say a sandbox mode, what?
Oh, I am not sure. Let's follow the link.
Yeah, so I don't know who actually posted that, but that's if you've got a specific sort of idea around sandbox mode, what that would look like, then yes, please post that and let's bring that into the discussion for next time.
Cool, sounds great.
Because one of the reasons why I'm sort of immediately jumping on that is that Q has always from the start, we wanted it to feel like a really kind of a really creative game, and a game where you have lots of fun kind of experimenting with different combos, and it's that sort of the challenge that there is always going to be a competitive game there, and as soon as it's a competitive game, everyone wants to or feels compelled that they have to use the meta. And it's something that Tangent has always sort of said as well. It's like and why can't we have some way of playing the game almost creatively? So, but we've never sort of had a solution to that. So when I hear sandbox mode, I think, oh, maybe someone's got the solution. In which case, please share.
Yeah. I think they've.
Does anyone just want all our card details? Q card details.
Alison, you're not on mute.
Yeah.
Be fine for sandbox mode. Because there has been a suggestion post, so I'll make sure that gets covered, and then we can maybe have a little chat about it.
Yeah.
Next one, put it there. Okay.
Yeah, that is just talking about the card details. That is something which we've been looking into. No, I think we've gone beyond looking into. I think we've started development on it, which is the sort of exposing more of the API around cards so that players can do more with it. I don't know where we're at with that. That's one of those things that we were talking about 6 weeks ago, and I don't know what happened. But I know Mihai had actually started doing work on it. So.
I felt like you can have the card details. I was like, am I imagining that we were talking about that afterwards? But no, I swear we were. I think it's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, we were. I mean, yeah, it's been something that we sort of wanted to do for a long time. I'm worried that we'll end up wanting to do it for a long time again instead of actually doing it. But I think players would be able to do really cool things with that.
I think our players are so creative. It's crazy. I love like the deck challenges and stuff. I just think some of the decks that people put together in the store, and over Halloween, some of the stories that people made with their decks, I just thought, wow, that's so crazily creative. I just thought it was so nice.
It's honestly, it blows my mind how many entries we get in the deck jams, and like the effort that goes into describing the whys and what they love about the card. It's like every time we have that, I'm like, everyone go have a look, because it's just awesome. So no, they've been really fun to look through. Okay, well, yeah, that sounds interesting going into the next AMA, talking about the different suggestions that you guys have popped in the chat. We are kind of getting towards the end of the AMA. And we just want to say like a massive thank you to everyone that's come along. Really like look forward to having these, and we're planning on doing them each month to kind of keep you guys in the loop and make sure that we're getting your feedback and questions answered before the next one, which will be in March time. We will be putting out a Google form link. So if you really want your questions answered, and it also gives us an opportunity to if you have a suggestion, we can then talk to other people around the team, but we'll also be getting some people involved to get I say better answers. It's mainly looking into some of the things we can actually do. But make sure you pop your questions into those Google forms because we take them first as well. But I just want to say a big thank you to Avid Ali, Avid PM for coming along. It's been very fun. I'm glad I made it back, even though it was quite a hot and bothered start to the AMA today. I have cooled down now, so that's
have you changed your shirt, Joe? I think that's what everyone wants to know.
It's off. It's gone. It's gone.
Thanks for racing back to this.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming along. Keep an eye out for the roadmap that should be coming out within the next. I guess it's within the next 2 weeks. End of next week is when we're aiming to kind of get some more info to you guys and some more information about a balance patch, which should be really fun. So yeah. Thank you again for coming along, and keep an eye out for the Google Forms for the next one.
Thank you, everyone.
Also,
thanks so much, everyone.
Subscribe to Games for Dads. If you miss any of this, you can go back and watch his recording there as well. Sorry, Alison and Paul. I cut you off so bad there. That was
no worries. See you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye.